board games. You've played them, I've played them. I don't know where to go from here. I made a board game. Well, technically, it's a tabletop game, which would be more under the role playing category, but I don't really care. I made a board game, okay? Lego games are so much fun. You, as the average viewer, you either use context clues, knew exactly what I was talking about, or thought I was talking about Lego video games. Because TT Games has diluted the idea of Lego games. Don't get me wrong, I love Lego video games, but there's something so magical about those old Lego board games. I've wanted to make a tabletop Lego game for quite some time, and chances are I'll keep developing this, adding new factions and such. In order for the whole team to be able to play the game, I had to transport all the pieces to an offsite location, so I don't have them on hand. I did try to record me explaining it before I moved all the pieces, but while I didn't have the pieces on hand, I added to the game, so at some points I'll be revoicing over what I had before, and at other points I'll just be showing some image I found off the internet. To set up the board, place one 16 by 16 base plate for each player that's in the game. These are the land plots that you place your capitals on eventually if you get to building them. You want to randomly disperse chests, landscape pieces, and bits, which are the currency, they're studs and the lightsaber bar pieces, around the table. Place the coffee shop in the middle of the board. Each player begins with only their hero character, and the hero character has no ranged attack and cannot get faction buffs until you have troops. Using your capital, you can build vehicles. Vehicles must be piloted by someone. This could be a hero your or one of your troops, but if the vehicle is destroyed, the pilot is too. Vehicles deal 2 damage and have the same melee and ranged attack distance as troops. Vehicles, when not in a platoon, can travel 12 centimeters or 15 studs in one move, depending on if you're using a ruler or a stud measure. Drones are really good for scouting. They can move as far as a vehicle, but only have the attack and health of a troop. A hero has 3 health and 1 attack. Troops and drones have 1 health and attack each. Vehicles have 2 attack and 5 health. When it comes to movement, every turn you get 3 moves. You may use 1 move to make your army travel 10 centimeters or 12 studs. You may use 1 move to deal a melee attack to an enemy if they're within the length of your weapon. A ranged attack requires 2 moves but allows you to shoot 10 centimeters or 12 studs. It takes all 3 moves to build your capital. It takes 2 moves to build a vehicle or drone, and it only takes 1 move to create a troop. You can move all of your troops, hero, drone, and vehicle, or any combination thereof, together with the lowest movement in the group and the combined damage. This is called a platoon. When being attacked, unless they use some sort of special weapon like dynamite to target a specific enemy, troops get damaged first, then drones, vehicles, and finally the hero. You can build troops, drones, and vehicles at the capital, which has 10 health. A capital can only be built by a hero and can be rebuilt an infinite number of times if destroyed. The coffee shop allows you to heal your troops, drone, or hero. It takes 1 move to 1 bit to heal 1 damage from your character. You may not use the coffee shop to bring back defeated troops, but you can rebuild them at your capital. The coffee shop has 5 health and once destroyed, cannot be rebuilt. Right now, I only have 3 factions in the game. They're each based off of factions from LEGO Universe, so they're Assembly, Venture, and Paradox. If you know LEGO Universe, you know there was also a Sentry, which is castle themed, but I don't have nearly enough castle things.
To make that so, I'm just sticking with Assembly, Venture, and Paradox. Assembly's ranged weapons go 12 centimeters or 15 studs once you've built your capital. This does not apply to the heroes. You have to have something else. Venture's melee attacks are 2 centimeters or 3 studs farther than the length of your weapon. And Paradox may move troops 12 centimeters or 15 studs on one movement. When it comes to power ups, which you find in the chests, you roll a die to see which power up you get when you encounter a chest. You may alternatively spend 3 bits to choose your power up, but if you're not going to do that, if you roll a 1, you get the revolver, which multiplies your ranged attacks by 2 for one full turn. If you roll a 2, you get the pizza, which allows you to fully revive one platoon, including vehicles. And you don't have to use these as soon as you get them. You can store them up. The dynamite deals 5 damage to one thing, but it must be within melee distance to use. If something's in a platoon, you only need to be within melee distance of the closest member of the platoon to use the dynamite on anything within the platoon. If you roll a 4, you get the Frost Sapphire. It multiplies all values by 2 for one turn. So you get double attack, double range, double movement, double health. If you roll a 5, you get the Spinjitzu Spinner, which multiplies your melee attacks by 2 for one whole turn. If you roll a 6, you get the Ninja Hood, which allows you to deal 1 damage to anything on the board, bypassing platoon damaging rules. That is, you may target a specific character class within a platoon. It also works on buildings. So, anywhere on the map, if you have the Ninja Hood, whenever you feel so inclined, once you may deal 1 damage to anything. Bits can be found on the map. A single stud is worth 1 bit, and a bar is called a triple bit and is worth, you guessed it, 3 bits. You cannot pick up bits until you have a capital, and if your capital is destroyed, the destroyer gets all of your bits. The final step of any good game is victory. How to win. The winner is the last player standing. If a hero is defeated, you cannot build or use capitals or bits, but you can command any living troops and vehicles that you already have. To win, you gotta wipe everything out. I mean, if they just have a capital, they literally can't do anything, and so you win. But if they still have one troop, it's not over till it's over.
Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.